What's going on there, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Craftavore Tastes, and today we are digging into another beer from Treehouse Brewing out of Charlton, Massachusetts. This is Bright with Nelson. Yeah, dude. So Bright with Nelson, 7.8% ABV, double IPA. Obviously, Bright is one of Treehouse's kind of flagship beers that they brew, and from time to time they'll obviously throw in some different hop additions. So Bright with Citra, Bright with Galaxy. Just so happens that when I was up there picking up some cans, I was happy enough, or lucky enough rather, to stumble upon Bright with Nelson. And not to beat a dead horse, but for folks that obviously watched the channel in previous episodes, I am a huge fan of Nelson Sauvin hops. So that was pretty freaking awesome that I stumbled across that. All right, so let's dive straight into the review, shall we? Let's go ahead, pop a top on this guy, take a look at the appearance, get the aroma, taste it, and then of course we're going to rate it. Pour it directly into that hashtag proper glassware. All right, let me go ahead, get straight into the review. Certainly looks like Bright. So if you're a fan of Treehouse or drink a lot of Treehouse beers, you will know that kind of Bright is kind of, the appearance of the beer is actually perfect for the name. So significantly lighter in terms of overall color than the majority of Treehouse beers. It comes across as a bit more vibrant and bright. All right, so beer pours an absolutely beautiful, full-on haze, medium light, borderline straw yellow color. Obviously, a lot of Treehouse's other beers kind of tend to be a little bit more medium gold in a lot of instances. This, just kind of leaps out of the glass in terms of the overall look of the beer. Got about a finger and a half of just this kind of really nice creamy white head. Looks freaking awesome. Let's go ahead and dive our nose into it and get an aroma. So super obviously familiar nose coming from the Nelson. Obviously sticky, kind of dank, like foresty, like dirty Nelson kind of Sauvin hops. One thing that I am going to mention about this beer that's slightly different than other Nelson beers that I've got is there's a little bit of an onion chive thing going on there as well, which I don't traditionally get at a Nelson. Yeah, it's definitely got that obviously kind of super kind of dank, like herbaceous, forest thing kind of going on that you get from Nelson. But there's another layer here, which is like a little different. Like, it's onion, kind of chive. I don't want to go as far as to say garlic, because it's not that. But there's like an onion kind of chiviness going on to this one, which is not what I've traditionally got on a Nelson. And I wouldn't necessarily say that I've been lucky enough these last couple of months to drink a lot of Nelson beers. And what I've been told by a couple of good friends is that the crop of Nelson this year was exceptional. And so a lot of the beers that my buddy Bud has sent across from Monkish have contained Nelson, and those beers have been literally absolutely mind-blowing. A lot of that Nelson crop that came in this year, from what we've heard, is kind of like the quality of Nelson hops that someone like Sean Hill from Hill Farmstead has been acquiring for the last number of years, which made his Nelson beers, kind of a step above anybody else's. This is interesting. It's not as pungent in the nose as you would think. I get all the characteristics from Nelson, and again, a little bit of that overlay of kind of onion, kind of chive thing going on there, which is a little different, but it's not really leaping out of the glass. All right, so let's go ahead and give ourselves a taste. Cheers. Oof. Wow. So what may be sort of slightly, I don't want to say lacking in the nose because that's not right. What might be not as explosive in the nose from a lot of other Nelson beers this year that I'm used to, you get that huge kind of pungent diesel fuely, dank, herbaceous kind of pop forward in the taste. It's all freaking Nelson. What I would say is for 7.8% ABV, it's kind of mind-blowing because the beer almost feels kind of light and airy, which is kind of interesting. But huge, big, obvious notes of tropical fruits in the nose. And then it's obviously dominated by that Nelson Sauvin characteristics, right? For me, diesel fuel, herbs, dank, forest floor, stuff of that nature. Not so much that onion and chive in the taste, And then, of course, even a bit of vinous kind of white wine kind of characteristic going on, which I'm getting more and more these days out of Nelson. I never used to, but I'm going to go back in for another taste because I do get it here. Yeah, right there. Definitely. A bit of that kind of white wine, kind of white grape vinous characteristic going on there. Super, super good. Mouth, like I kind of said, for a 7.8% double IPA, I don't want to say it's thin. It's just a bit less creamy than a lot of Treehouse beers traditionally kind of are. And Bright tends to sort of be that way a little bit, at least in the other iterations that I've had of it. So going back in for one more taste, and we're going to give her a rating. It's very, very good, though. All right, so rating time. The Bright with Nelson from Treehouse Brewing out of Charlton, Massachusetts. Double IPA coming in at 7.8% ABV. Okay. I know where I want to go in this rating. Because, and I'm lucky, this is the perfect beer to be able to review for me in late 2018, early 19. And what I mean by that is I've had a lot of freaking Nelson beers over the course of the last 6 months. Probably more than any in my life. And that's awesome because it's my favorite hop. What I'm going to say is that this beer for me is a 4.25 cap beer. It's slightly a little bit under what I'm kind of traditionally used to from Treehouse and perhaps even from kind of Bright and the various variants that they've put out for Bright. And the reason is I've had better Nelson beers this year. I've had better Nelson beers from Monkish. I've had better Nelson beers from Modern Times. I've had better Nelson beers from Hill Farmstead. So, yeah, I mean, is it still a really good beer? Yeah, it's a 4.25 cap beer. Like, it's, you know, it's Treehouse, right? Like, it's right on the borderline of world class. If not, you know, I mean, hey, bump it up a little bit, whatever you want to do. But, yeah, ultimately, in the end, from the Nelson beers that I've had this year, I would probably say it is not on par with some of the other Nelson beers that I've had, but still obviously very, very good, given that 4.25 cap rating. All right, so that'll do it for this episode of Craftavore Taste. Hope you join me again for another episode where I drink, I review, I rate, and then I repeat. Cheers.